this one. Oh, what's happening here? Oh, just in time for a sneeze. I hope nobody comes in by the time I sneeze. Let's see. One, two. Oh, banana. Sit there and say banana. Oh, my Atlanta, this thing must be recording. It looks like I can see myself. It's like a mirror. Uh-oh. Damn stupid video diary started recording me again. How do you like that? Well, anyhow, I got like nothing going on right now, and absolutely a whole lot of nothing going on. And I'm not much one for politicking or uh let's say religious, spiritual openness in a sense. I tell you what, this crazy train. Welcome to Miner's Madness. This is James. The train depot, that is the Chase Marketplace, and reality, the world outside of that shopping mall, turned into a shopping mall now. All kinds of different things going on in that place. But I mean, it's a correlation to the different possibilities of different things if one can use their imagination. And so I was just going over the Forrest Fenn thrill of the chase, and I was looking at his ages and the years in which Forrest Fenn was talking through his book. As I'm revisiting that journey in which he took, and he was just sharing along with me. And I like to stay informed outside of my little zone, which, obviously is this brain cave of mine where it's got the who, what's, and where's, and when, and why's, and how's of, kind of a little perspective of me. But I mean, nonetheless, the man cave. And no, it's a brain cave. It's a brain cave. So, and it was an interesting perspective when it dawned on me. Just because we like to sidetrack, and there's always a train for digression. Is don't forget to throw some coins out there on the track. Like I say, make that shiny into something like really sharp, because it's good for stuff like if you want to whittle down a point on a piece of wood to make a spear as a better weapon, or you can sit there and notch out and put it inside your wood and use some sap or stuff to keep it in there, whatnot, and harden it up, and now you got yourself a nice little cutting blade. All kinds of different things you can do. And it also makes, a nice flat piece, makes for, you can put a design on it. Don't forget to, get a drink. I got some tea. So today, I got me some tea. My dad, who I'm going to visit on the East Coast for like 2.5 months-ish, give him a helping hand and just do some visiting with the family. His favorite color is fluorescent orange. And in a sense, it just kind of passed on. But yesterday I was on yammering to myself, and we're out of white sugar, and I use brown sugar, and you could taste the difference. Last night I told my wife about it. She's like, "Wow, did you try powdered sugar?" So today, I tried powdered sugar in my tea. Yep, still tastes different. So I told her, I says, this powdered sugar's not working. I definitely need some white sugar, but you'll do just fine. She texted me back and said, "Ha ha ha." I don't know if she was laughing at me or what. I'll tell you what, she'll do just fine. But need some white sugar. Oh, I myself, I like to every now and then treat myself by taking like a little teaspoon of brown sugar and just shove it in my mouth, let it sit there and dissolve, getting that nice sweet molasses flavor in your mouth. Yeah, it's crazy because we're talking songs. Somebody was posting songs earlier today, And it's amazing how songs, and smells can just bring a person from one place to another. It's crazy. It's awesome stuff. Oh, yeah, we were digressing. Somebody said something, and I missed what it was, and I was going to talk about it. But, oh well, on to something else. So, Forrest Fenn, as I was reading the book and I got towards the end, Forrest Fenn makes a quote. I wish I could have done the things I was attributed to, or could attribute to, or something like that. It's in the description. And it got me wondering, about the being a president, or a president, any president. And it makes you wonder, as a searcher, in the things that you've learned beyond the thrill of the chase and the open-mindedness that is created, would you, as a searcher, would you put yourself in a presidential position, and kind of like, what would be like a 5-point plan that you would have. So it'd be interesting if anybody who hops onto this train starts throwing their pitches for presidential campaigning, if they do. But I figured it's like if Forrest Fenn wrote a book about how to, how to learn different things, and show different things, and taught me different things for sure. One of them is how to look at your life in different perspectives, and daydreaming and dreaming, and realization and actualizations are things that we go through in our life as we progress through this journey. And it makes me wonder, I keep telling my wife I'm going to run for president. Now that's where everybody starts laughing, ha ha ha, right? But it would be, in a sense, I think, kind of simple or easy, even though it'd be a very, very difficult thing. You're the person that would be sole capitan of, and this is where it differs between like my presidential plan, 5-point plan, versus what I've seen through the years. And I never paid attention to, politicking or anything like that. I like that movie, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? And the funny, interesting thing about that movie is the flow of communication, and the evolution of communication, in which people who were running for office, whether governor, mayor, city council, secretary, just a secretary, whatever. I mean, people who run for political offices, who are sitting there to benefit themselves and the community, hopefully more for the community than themselves, that they would be, there doing the right things because they're good people in good positions. There's no catching up. I'm just yammering about seeing who would. I mean, I don't even know what I was doing on here. Yammering about if a person was able to do something about it, would they do something about it? And in this case, it's a country or the world. So on this Miner's Madness train of confusion, which is very short, just only got an engine and caboose. I'm still even trying to find my channel in chat so I can see what's going on. I mean, not that I'm good at this stuff anyway, because it's just a video diary of me talking to myself. Volume's down. We're good there. Oh, there's people in chat. Hello, everybody. Thank you for stopping by. And, tagging along as I mumble and jumble to myself. At the very least, I hope you can hear the wind chimes outside, and hopefully it drowns my voice out. If not, I apologize. And in that case, I hope you bring a blanket and a pillow so that you can catch yourself some nice Z's. And when you do that, you start getting into hot dogs. Yep, we got hot dogs. Oh, sounds hot dog. Sounds hot dog. Oh, and there was something else too. Yeah, pillows, blankets. I know what's going on. So in the train depot, the yard master got a hold of me, and so this is coming down from the top. So people who are new to this channel or new to my channel, that's not really a channel. It really doesn't exist. It's just a figment of my imagination, or is it? Nonetheless, I try to keep it humorous or non-humorous, but in any case, I try to at least learn about the things I talk about so that I know what I'm talking about in case my wife tells me that I don't know what I'm talking about. Sometimes I talk too fast. Sometimes I don't talk at all. And sometimes I just mumble. So I blame that on the sound audio guy, and I'll let him know that he's borderline because he's not making any volume waves. He's borderline of getting fired. Did you hear that, Mister? Yeah, yeah, I heard it. I heard it. Somebody told me that I need to work on my audio, keep things flowing or whatever, but not gonna work. Anyhow, thank you for stopping by. If I see you in chat, please don't feel offended that I recognize you, don't recognize you. I say hi, how you doing? If you notice at the top, there's a video. Feel free to go and check it out. It's a comment picker giveaway. I'm giving away a Forrest Fenn coin, and then along the way, also giving some other coins away, silver and whatnot. Just some history, chasing history, following history, all because Forrest Fenn kind of opened up an idea inside my mind that, it's just the way things are going. Why do you Bill? What, Mr. Kiwis? Why do you use it on Bill Gorman? I've never said anything about Bill Gorman in a negative fashion at all. And if somebody could prove otherwise, I'd like to see that. Which kind of brings me to my next point. In the train depot, yardmaster got a hold of me saying that we need a legal team aboard this train. Sitting at the very rear of the train, next to the smoking cart, you'll find the legal caboose, the legal back. Anyhow, the legal team. Now, so guilty by association. That is fine. People can sit there and have me guilty by association, but I stand by the things I say and I stand by the things I do. Why? Because I believe in the things that I say and that I do. I don't talk bad about people. I have no reason to talk bad about people. Now, if people do things and people say things that are contradictory to what they say and do, in either a integrity or a honorable or truthful fashion, and I point that out, well, that's just my point and opinion to be able to do so. Because if somebody who is doing bad and evil to somebody, and I'm not saying Bill, Barbara, Troy, Street, whoever, K-Pro, Indy, Dents, AGK, whoever, I don't care about anybody else in this entire world except for me, my family, and the close friends, because those are the things that are more important. Those are the things I hold dear. Those are the things I hold true and honest, that have integrity. I believe half of what I see and nothing of what I hear. And that was taught to me by a teacher in my vocational school. And I held that very important. So when people say and do things that are bad for other people, I have the obligation and the ability and the right to point that out so that other people can be aware of said negative people doing negative things. That being said, that comes from the legal department at the caboose of the train. So if anybody has any query about me or Kiwi or about us and would like to send us any kind of cease or desist orders or try to censor my opinion, my channel, or my YouTube, like I said, there's now a legal department at the back of the train. Feel free to help yourself down in the end. And I recommend that you look over the back balcony railing for just about 5 seconds. And I say that with a smile because the next video you'll have after that in 6 seconds will be blah, 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 blah. And so with that, I'm going to continue on with what I was saying. But Nonetheless, people are more than welcome to come and chime in and talk about whatever they'd like to talk about. And feel free to mention whatever they feel like mentioning. And people can feel happy to believe what they like to believe, you know? I just ask that people keep it calm, cool, and collective and positive at the very least, you know? And, you know, it seems to be going pretty good. Anyhow, see, and that brings down to like the whole Forrest Fenn, a quote, and a president, because a president, in a way, has you're the commander in chief of the United States, of a free country. I mean, it used to be it was supposed to be the new world, the free world, the new free world, but somehow it's not ish. Oh my lord, the cosmos is talking today. When I hear the chimes, it's like listening to the wind. The wind's controlled by nature, the cosmos, the energy that's flowing around. It's interesting stuff for me. I like the noise. Not that I could hear it really anyway. But things like, and I had created a description on, I mean, just these things. Forrest Fenn, and I wish I could have done the things that I can attribute to. And as a person, I think you can apply different things you've learned in life in a presidential fashion that would be benefit to, you know, yourself and your community, your city, your state, and your country. And if you go a step beyond, you can it'd benefit, I would think, the world. And it's kind of, for me, it's like it would be a simple plan, you know, for anybody who would run for president. Real simple plan that you could put it in a 5 point plan. You know what I mean? Because just in like our personal lives, there's people who butt heads and contradict and whatever. You have fallouts, etc. Same goes for cities and towns. You got people who do bad and harm to other people, and people who are out there trying to help and do the best they can to help people progress. So, I mean, being a president would be a very difficult position, but could you run it successfully? And I think you probably could run it successfully in a sense if you, uh, along my way and journey through the past few years, I've learned about a thing called Maslow's hiarchy of needs, um, which is an interesting perspective that I wish I knew growing up. And I'm not sure if anybody else has ever heard of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, but if you haven't, I just so happen to have pulled up um, a picture that I screenshotted so that I could be like, oh, check this out. This is the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And I'll read it to you. And it's really a triangle. I'd pull it up right here, but screen sharing stuff in or whatever. Yeah. Don't know how to do that kind of stuff. This ain't Zoom. But it's a pyramid. And it starts at the bottom of the pyramid and it works its way up to the top. And the first one is physical needs. And it's talking about breathing, food, water, shelter, clothing, and sleep. Now, if you look at that, that's quite a bit of stuff that I think if a person was president, just like they were of their own home, you would want your home where people could breathe easier, right? I mean, there's ways like trees and nature and stuff, along with electronics and whatnot, that can help uh, reduce the carbon dioxide in the air and what other else fumigated stuff. But food, everybody has to eat, right? So why isn't there, or could there be a 50-50 one-for-one type of thing where, I mean, people need to eat, right? isn't there one of the least uh, costly product that can be mass produced and distributed for free, or at the very least at the cheapest, throughout the country, that has a lot of substantial vitamins and minerals and stuff? What's oatmeal? Oh, so no, I thought somebody said oatmeal. Originals. Well, that's a different topic. We get to that later on up at the top. You'll see what I'm talking about. Water. Water is one of the things why, I mean, we're all paying water bills, right? We're all paying for water, but water's a necessity that we need in order to survive. So why are they charging for our water when we have taxes or whatever to pay for that type of structures and whatnot? They're double dipping in our pockets. This is how I look at it. I mean, whether they are or aren't, this is how I'm looking at it. As a president, I would go through the entire water system and figure out how we're making energy off of it and how we can distribute it so that more people can have the basic need of water without being charged. Now, there's waste and abuse and all that stuff. Of course, there's rules and regulations that can come up, but I mean, at the very least, if you want a country just like you want your family to do well, wouldn't you want these things readily available for your family or in your country? Clothing, I mean, well, shelter. I mean, shelter is one of the basic things, and the idea of providing like one room cells, as they would call it, but you know, it was. Let me put it this way: my daughter just is renting out a place, and it's $1,400 a month, and it's a main room that is with an open kitchen, with 2 bedrooms, one on either side, and each one has its own bathroom. They've pretty much made homes. Well, I guess in the old times, the old days, the old pioneering days, and whenever else, I mean, a home, a house was just kind of like a one-room thing, a place you needed to keep you out of the storms, a place you needed to protect yourself from things that would attack you outside in nature, animals, people, etc. So, I mean, building off of that concept, but making it so that it's suitable, but not too much. That would be an interesting task, but I just drove down. Oh, that's what I was saying is, it's amazing how a 20 by 20 foot piece of land that you could sit there and repetitively make money off of, somebody who's just trying to have a single place to survive. I guess that's America for you, right? But if they actually had places that were, I mean, they have low income housings and stuff like that, so it's interesting. I wonder if there'd be more things that they could do stuff like that, because I mean, there's still quite a bit of land across America. There's a lot of desert, but why not bring all that water and try to bring that water throughout and really cultivate America versus. And here's the thing about the cultivating America, which is very interesting. If you think about like the Aztecs and the Mayans and all them ancient peoples and stuff like that, they built, even like the Romans and stuff, they had canals that were creating water flows on a level perspective, flowing through and cultivating. All of a sudden, you see a shift in dynamic where that flow of water to help the land and the people grow ended up getting controlled, and now you have dry states, and you got some states that are just too wet, and it's like, if they implemented a more feasible. And the thing too about being able to drill and tap into a water source that you couldn't naturally do is a beneficial on the whole. And so you can start drilling into all the deserts and dry places and finding them old waterways, and now you got water in dry places, and then populations can grow more evenly and distributed. But I mean, just ideas and thoughts. As a president, I would look into those things, and that's just basic need and survival. How to make your home and your family have basic needs. I got clean air here, I'm good. I got food in the cupboards, I'm good. I got running water that I'm paying for, that's good. I got a home above my head that I'm constantly paying for over and over again. I got clothes that may be the same clothes all the time, but I still got clothes. And sleep. These are things that you can help a nation acquire and attain to help your nation, just like your home, run smoother. You know what I mean? It's just interesting stuff. And after just listening to some of the things in today's uh, big perspective of the globe and the way uh, policies and politics are being played, I just don't understand why nobody has gone and went this extra step in which I'm going on this train. I mean, this train isn't just. I mean, in the description, it's about more. It's about just religious or spiritual. It's more than just the left or right of a political party. I mean, this is, if you could be a president of the free world, then you should be able to make the world a freer world. And when I say that, I mean, I just kind of go into that like as I talk, but it'll make sense. And I mean, basically, one of the things to say right off the bat is if if the idea of America is so great that everybody wants to, in a sense, either A, get here illegally, legally, or any means possible, or B, destroy it by any means possible, then you have to pick one or the other. And if you pick America to survive and strive to be great and better, then why not sit there and envelop or swallow up, I guess would be a poor term, but a good term, on realization of countries, and honestly play the game of risk that everybody's played, or people may have played or may not have played. And if you haven't played it, check it out. A game called Risk. Because whether a person agrees with a rule or regulation in a whole society, then the whole society would have, or the mob mentality, or the whole society mentality would be a stronger unit against some of the individualisms. Not to say that individualism is bad or anything, it's just if the individualism idea is for the better and for the whole, then why wouldn't it automatically be included in the whole? The reason why it probably becomes the individualism is if the whole sees that there's no benefit or the benefit is worse, that it becomes an individualism, if that makes any sense. Uh, I'm sorry if you. I'm not trying to ignore everybody in chat. I got a train of thought and it's hard to keep track. I will, from time to time not check in on chat. But if you hit like one or two and it's up there, or you tag me in the red, I'll try to read it and recognize it. But I do read and recognize and see that it's coming in there. That's why I'm saying something right now. But this kind of brings up to, so it's a 5-point plan. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's a 5-point plan. So, I mean, right there, your physical basic needs for your country, if you can figure out how to make those things work, I mean, I think you're on to a good start as becoming a president. I mean, I'd follow somebody that sat there and was able to offer me free water. I mean, would you? Um, I'd sit there and follow somebody that was able to offer um, a place where people who couldn't afford to or weren't able to. I mean, there's ways I'm sure that they could figure it out. I mean, there's so much money that's going back to help other organizations and stuff like that, or facilities or structures. It's there seems to be a lost loop somewhere in there that I'm not seeing, looking at my country or the world in a whole. And I'm still sleeping until late wakes up. Oh, lunch. Lunch is always good. I feel like Kiwi got some Fruity Pebble on me. Not that Kiwi had Fruity Pebble or anything. So as I move, so the idea is, it's kind of like the infinity sign, like the infinity sign. So the Maslow's hierarchy of needs has physical needs. There's the next step, safety and security needs, which I'll go over, and then there's like three other ones. But it goes up to a point, and as a president, you're the point where it breaks back down to the states, and then to the counties, and then to the cities, and then to your home. You know what I mean? And so to apply the Maslow's hierarchy of needs to a point, and your presidential to a point as a campaign to, foster, then I don't know, would it make a person with these kind of ideas an acceptable person who's running for president, regardless of political view or no political view, but rather a societal view or a worldly view as running for president? And I think these are some of the things that a person who's trying to run for president would be able to be successful. Because looking at today's day and age, the education system, the legal system, um, policies, and politics, religion, and relationships, on a bigger picture, it's interesting to see. It's interesting to see the waves, the ebbs and flows of history and nature. And it doesn't seem very pleasant coming up. And I think if you had somebody who was running for president that had some kind of, I don't know, simple, basic plan, not to say to start over, but to be able to snap things into a different perspective of, like, look, we need to get serious about what's going on. I mean, like, serious. There's things that people may or may not know, or that we may not be being told, that I think through learning and imagination, um, truths come out, in a sense. Um, Lies come out, in a sense. Everything gets revealed, in a sense. But I mean, so that's just one step right there. Is that self-independent, that physical need, right? Also, I've been writing this stuff down on a whiteboard. See, my presidential 5-point plan. So this is the menu for today's train ride, if you want to see or not see. But it's going off the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Um, and circling around the shed above your head. Well, see, that's the thing is, hopefully I wouldn't be able to hear it. But, and so, which is an interesting fact about civilizations on a whole, to the world on the whole. If you look at nature, where you have predator and prey, sometimes there's too much one or the other. There's not enough predators to take out the prey, so the prey end up overwhelming. Or there's too many predators and not enough prey out there, and next thing you know, the predators are eating the predators and everything else besides the normal prey that they would go after. Civilization, people on the planet, are unfortunately and inherently part of that process. And part of that process, I mean, there's famines, there's natural disasters, uh, there's mass disease, and there's wars. So the whole thing about that is, in an essence, there's people who have looked throughout the society holes and histories, and they've come up with ways and methods in which to um, populate population control or humanity control, or killing people just because they want to keep the numbers down control. Now these are either true or false facts, but I tell you what, from what I've seen, it all seems to be true. I mean, I see a lot of wars that kill people, so that would be true. I've seen a lot of medical procedures that kill people, so I mean, that would be true. Um, I've seen disease that has killed a lot of people. I mean, so that's true. So these are just true facts that I'm pointing out that I've observed as an observer. I mean, just pointing it out. But these are also things which kind of brings. So, well, it comes up that this adds in, it ties into the next step of Maslow's hierarchy of needs is safety and security. So, under safety and security, you have health, employment, property, family, and social ability. Now, the property part is the part that I think becomes the biggest issue in any, in any progression, either backwards or forward, because of the one fact that, to me, the perspective is we can't, how can we really, own that property? I mean, we come, we visit, and we go. The property is here forever, you know what I mean? We're just here using the land that we're on. So to best use that land that benefits more people in a way, in a positive way, versus, not. So the whole property thing is like just one of those things. But I mean, I have, a little bit of property right here. This is my home. This is where I live. I mean, everybody, not everybody. People they're living in their cars. I got a friend that's talking about trying to move into a van to just save money off of rent. I mean, these are just, that becomes your property, your mobile home, your mobile property. And, oh, we all have an equal shot at success and failure. But you have a better equal shot at success and failure if you're more equipped versus somebody who's less equipped. And when I say that as information and knowledge, which is part of what I think Forrest Fenn had really opened up for me. Was just because I'm as non-smart as I think I'm smart. I mean, I don't know anything. You know what I mean? And even though I think I know this world around me, my God, I know nothing. And let alone, boy, I think I know myself. I still know nothing. And that, I can say with confidence, I don't know everything at all. But I'm trying to learn, like a lot of people, on how to, I would hope, better improve, things. Like if I got to retile our bathroom like I got to do, I'm going to watch other people watch YouTube videos, look it up on the internet. And I think that's where, like, the knowledge is power. And the ability to allow, and this is what they're trying to do with other countries and nations, is open up that flow of information through internet and probably satellite connections and stuff like that, kind of like what they're trying to do in America, because it fosters and grows ideas, hopefully in a more positive way. Sad part about it is it can also be used for bad things to happen. But that's just the way of life. That's evolution. That's just how things work. But oh, if you're trying, oh, see, I should like go back and forth. I see it right here because I got chat and I'm looking at the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I should have printed those out. So let me read some of this chat here, just for shits and grinnies. The bear's still sleeping. Wait till it wakes up. Lunch taking on Trump is like fighting a volcano with a fire truck. There's a good luck and envision an electric train track circling around the shed above your head. Me too, and it won't go away. The problem with Maslow's hierarchy as a presidential plan is we are the melting pot, and Maslow's theory ignores humans' different cultural and social backgrounds. But see, that's the thing is, it should ignore, and well, before I get myself in trouble, I would think that it should ignore the different cultural and social backgrounds. And I say this because it's not about where you came from or who your social background is. It's that we are all humans, and we are all humans on a planet. And this is where I was saying earlier that if you could take this presidential plan one step above, that one step above is that thought. Take away that you're Americans, or take away that you're an alphabet of the an alphabet letter. You know, take away whether you're male, female, binary, non-binary. If you're an organism or a creature, yada yada yada. Nonetheless, all those separations boil down to one thing. It's not a boiling pot of America. It's a boiling pot of our planet. And that planet has a bunch of humans boiling all over. Some are getting cooked too much than others. Some are just not getting cooked at all. And that's where the country separation comes in. And it's like, if America and the idea of America is all this greatness and everybody's trying to get to America, then as America, it should change to a United Nations of the world versus a United States of America. Because countries are trying to flee to other countries versus people fleeing from one state to another state because they have sanctuary laws or no gun laws or too strict of a gun laws, or the amount of fentanyl overdoses just happens to be 100 people less in one state versus another, or one country versus another country. Then take those things that are working, those rules and regulations that people are trying to get to, and apply it to those countries and take over those countries. I don't see why they can't do that. I don't see if there's a rule or regulations that says a country cannot take over another country if that country is willing to become a new nation, a united nation. Then you have your resources, you have your people. People can stay in their homes where they came from. People can stay with their families where they came from. And you get rid of all the bad people. Buy up Iceland or Greenland or Antarctic or something like that, and make one big giant prison. Put them on an island. I mean, civilization, there's different societies throughout the countries and stuff. But I think there's a way, if you keep it basic, everybody wants to just have something to drink, and everybody wants to have something to eat. Everybody wants to feel safe in their home, let alone walking out on the street just to go to work down the block. These are basic needs and Maslow's hierarchy needs that I think you could apply by ignoring some of these dive, dive, divisive words and means. When you go from human and you start integrating different things outside of human, then it becomes a divisive. You're dividing humans up, and you're taking away from the whole of humanity in our planet and how we're supposed should grow and foster together, so that we can work to expand outside of our solar system and stuff. But yet there's still so many countries that are squabbling within each other, creating wars and stuff, and it's over food, water, land, control of people. And then the process in which they're doing it, they're making it worse. I mean, all that work that people did to put it in, let alone they're killing those people, and then they're killing the people that were killing those people, and then now you ain't got nobody to rebuild all those things, and it's just ridiculous. I mean, think about, and this goes into population control in a sense, is disease can be used to eliminate the population and reduce it. And when you sit there and you apply or make something, in a sense, mandated or required to all those people who are in a healthcare position to be able to take care of people who don't know human anatomy or don't know how to take care of, you know, surgical type things or non-surgical type things. I mean, first aid Medicare was one of the things they taught in the military. It's, if you take those things out, then everybody else is going to die basically from infection, because there's nobody that knows how to treat the infections or know that there's infection in that. I mean, so by design and by method, things are happening that I see, in my opinion, going on in the world in the bigger scheme. Not just, you know, in my own neighborhood or in my own schools or in my own cities, uh, own HOA, my own presidencies, you know, that I've seen. These are just things on a bigger scale that I've noticed. And it's like, I think a president who can come in and you know, in a sense, have a basic plan that would make sense. And so, like I said, I'm just, you know, going over my 5 point plan. That's probably gonna have like 6 or 7 points, and it's just for shits and giggles anyway. I mean, it's all conjecture, thought, and theory. My wife said, like I say, I was talking to her the other day about, and this goes into safety and security. Okay, so I'm stepping away from chat again because I mean, I got a train to drive here. While I'm hanging out in chat, probably I'm gonna run into a wall, forget what I'm talking about, but that already happens anyway. See, what was I doing? Oh, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Oh, so the wife was sitting. We were talking about, so safety and security, health, employment, property, family, and social ability. I mean, social ability is, you think social media, news, and all that stuff. Your friends, neighbors, they telling you what they heard and seen and whatnot. Interesting stuff. I mean, that drives down into your family, your work, your employment, things, the things we do, and the time that we spend doing them for somebody else to make a better living than you. I mean, that's, in a sense, society has its roles. There's cogs and machines. There's things that oil machines. There's the heavy machinery machines. I mean, little small intricate electronic parts that help things work and flow in a manner. And just the way, let's say, last 5 years, last 3 years, you could see how there's been such a disruption in the overall economic machine that's been running America. I mean, you look at the shipping of goods and stuff. Seaports held up. Why? I mean, there's a whole bunch of seaports. Well, why build some more? You know, be constructive, right? Because if you limit it down to certain areas, You create bottlenecks, and those bottlenecks are prime targets for any person who or entity that would want to seek or destroy a society or something. You take their infrastructure out, your transportation, stuff like that. It's just crazy stuff. Your health, and you take away your health or the people that can help you with your health. That helps with that whole population reduction or control thing that may or may not be out there in real world society thing. I mean, there's conspiracy theories all over the place, especially on this train, but we just throw them underneath the train so they get garbled up and spewed out all over the place. But I think another part of the security thing, and this is where I was talking to Cindy, was TikTok. And she's like, don't bring it up, blah, blah, blah. You don't know what you're talking about, yada, yada, yada. And to me, it's a secure or a national security risk for our country as much as the emotional either benefit or non-benefit because of the ability of cyberbullying and whatnot has gone from face-to-face people getting bullied one-on-one to thousands and hundreds of thousands ganging up on one person that wouldn't normally do it had it not even been because of the advancement of technology. But on the other hand, because of the advancement of technology, those one-to-one things that may never have seen light where bad was being done because of all them other electronic devices and stuff being able to snapshot the moment. It makes a difference. But she's like, there's nothing you can do about it. And it's like, well, what if I went for president, Because then you can look at it and weigh the odds of whether it's good or bad for your country. And whether it's tracking your citizens and using your citizens' information without their permission. And, according to the U.S. Constitution, under Article 2, the president must be 35 years of age, a U.S. resident for 14 years, and a natural born citizen. So that right there, I mean, anybody can run for president if they meet those requirements. Oh, not that I'd run for president, but if you look on a society whole, and this is part of why some of the things that I mentioned, I'm just going to read a list. And so this will probably bore a lot of people. Get a drink. I need a drink. It'll probably definitely bore a lot of people. And this is where I say the Maslow's hierarchy of need in a presidential 5-point plan. From a family to a country, just spot to spot. Issues voters are extreme. So, as a president, you want to run your family so that you have your basic needs, this, that, the other, that come along with Maslow's hierarchy needs. But you also want your country to have the same benefit so that they can progress and become more beneficial, especially with the flow of information and the safety and security and whatnot, so that you as a person can benefit even more. And so there's this list. Issues voters are extremely or very concerned about. Inflation, higher prices, higher crime rates, political divisions, the amount you pay in taxes, book banning, U.S. banking system, border security, gun laws, what's tough in school or what's taught in schools, war between U.S. and China, war between U.S. and Russia, the climate change, TikTok being a national security threat, and the coronavirus. And there's more things. But just off of those things, Maslow's hierarchy is needed. If you're running your country, you would want to make sure you're trying to get those gas prices down. That inflation, why did the inflation even happen? Why there was a process in which things and in any society, which is why I say any society, is there's the ebbs and flows. Things were riding and going one way, and then all of a sudden something happened in society or the country, and all of a sudden stuff started going another direction. Now, it's not to call out presidents or anything like that. It's just policies and politics. Oh, there's the sneeze that's coming on. Hold it in. Oh, my Lanta. There goes my ribs. Anybody? That's twice. I sneezed twice internal. Anybody? Anybody? Let's see, read chat. Yeah. And then it starts with ourselves, you know. And that's what I'm trying is starting with myself is improving and growing and trying to be better so that it, progresses out. But I'm not lazy. I just enjoy doing nothing very much. So, I'll never become president, obviously, but I just think a person who could kind of maybe come to an equilibrium in a sense. Yeah, definitely. The patriotism, that. So there are ideas for which people will die that they would be willing to give up willingly and knowingly their life as they know it for an idea that they believe in so much. There's been some ideas so stretched that even one person would sacrifice themselves. And it makes you wonder, the more you learn and the more you know, that as you search for truth in this society, other societies, the way things are going, you start learning about religions and spiritual things, you start learning about physical and metaphysical things, that your life perspective changes, well, at least for me, mine changed. So yeah, not that I'm talking to people, though I'm trying to talk to people, but I'm not talking at people. Anyway, I'll just be quiet. I'll just read chat and keep going. No, I was actually doing something else. And so Maslow's hierarchy needs, that's where we're going. Back to presidential stuff. Oh, retry. There's nothing to retry. So back on if as a president, keeping those things simple, then you can start moving on to, if you have a country that is able to become employment, I would say, along with employment, is keeping your country self-sufficient, energy sufficient, water sufficient, making sure your air quality is sufficient, and stuff ain't being like, oh, look at that, they call them chemtrails and stuff. Look at that balloon floating around in a circle. What's it doing? Crazy stuff. Stuff that we're supposed to not know or know. It's interesting. Boy, this train is confused. So, yep, definitely couldn't run for president. Not with this train. But other people might. And it's interesting what you guys would do if you were president, along with or without some of these ideas that I'm just throwing out there. But as you move up, so safety and security, border security, home security, your neighborhood security, walking into a shopping mall or market security. These are all different things that where people are willing to do bad, they're going to do bad regardless of any rules or regulations. And people who are who would do bad to protect the good against those who would do bad, they're restrained. And then you're reducing or eliminating the people who are willing to do the good and able to do the good being cut out. I mean, I just don't understand this. I mean, as a president, I would definitely look into the security of my country, because I would want my home to be safe and secure. So why wouldn't I want my country to be safe and secure? And it comes to that whole point again, then expand the border so that it becomes no border eventually, just the only borders between us and space. That we're all sharing the same land and all sharing the same water and breathing. That way we can kind of reduce the competition and elimination in a sensible way, I hope, or would think. But that's just me. But you move up to the Maslow's hierarchy need, you come into love and belonging. So when you, and underneath this one, you have friendships, family, intimacy with Oragel, and sense of connection because of the Oragel. Which is from a conversation the other night. If you don't know what that means, I'd advise you to look up Oragel and, yeah, a person on YouTube, though I forget their name. Anyhow, love and belonging. I mean, that's turning a person's physical place, their food, breathing, what they're doing for work, what their physical health is, to that metaphysical part, the mental part of who we are as humans or as a person. And that friendship, family, and sense of connection can grow beyond, just, ourselves. I mean, that's kind of what I'm trying to do, like with my own diary. Then I'm talking to myself right now, and later on, I watch myself, and it's interesting to see what I got to say. It don't make sense at all, and it just looks like a lot of jibber jabber, which is okay. But I know at the very least I was interested enough in myself to be able to listen and come along for the ride. Now, people may find that either good or bad, and, they'll find that out if they come along for the ride. But a sense of connection when, like in the Forrest Fenn Thrill of the Chase. And it goes with friendship and family. There are times in people's lives when they're faced with, uncertainties that, possibilities of becoming certain. And people reflect and self-reflect, and then you start to understand different meanings or different purposes that people can have in life. One of them is learning about energy and about time, especially the energy and time I spend with my family. Because regardless of the different things, around, it's those personal, very personal messages that we relay to the people we're with. And I think if you're a president that can not just relate to the country, but be able to relate to families and individuals in a sense that you have that connection and that, that better awareness of where your country or your nation or the world is going. There's more. If you think of like the planet and the negative and or the North Pole, the negative pole, or the South Pole, positive pole, or whichever one's negative or positive, is just like atoms and stuff, the attraction and repelling. I think there's a way. If not, it's worth checking out, is how to get the best of societies to work with each other using the best ideas that they can bring towards each other. And that's how you get countries to work better, is bringing what they have positives, working on them, and helping each country take care of the negatives to reduce the negative things that are happening, so that it fosters a more better friendship going out there in your employment and your social world, and that sense of connection in the social and employment world, etc. So that on a family basis, life would hopefully be going good or better than it was, and the country would be going better and good as it were. So then you're coming up to like the next thing on is self-esteem, and the confidence and the achievements and respect of others, and the need to be a unique individual. I think a person running for president would be unique in a sense to apply these different thoughts or ideas or methods in a way that would hopefully help foster a country to progress in a better way over the way it seems to be going. And it's not the way I just see it going, it's just the way that our country is going. I mean, people can say and do things, but the evidence is out there because of what people say and do, which is crazy. And it comes up to the top of this Maslow's hierarchy of needs is self-actualization. And it's the morality, the creativity, the spontaneity, acceptance, experience and purpose, and meaning and inner potential. And I think as a person who would be running for president, if you're able to understand and see the country and the family as not separate units, but as one unit, and then beyond that, to see not just your country, America, but other nations and countries as one unit as well, then I think that's where a person who would run for president would be more successful in creating a better unity within nations versus trying to keep uh, even the basic family or society separated based off of individual isms or diversities. Because there's always diverse things throughout everything. That's just the way it is. But yeah, so and that comes down to your education and training and stuff is what's being taught and who's being trained and who's training who and who's training what. Learning the history so that we're not repeating history. Like you learn a lot about like the art of war and stuff, even though I've never read the book of Art of War. But I see stuff on like movies and shows and YouTubes, and I tag that, man. That's Art of War right there. Why? Because it's a good idea and how to better either be offensive or defensive against an enemy, or to protect yourself or your family against somebody who would do you harm. Things like that. If the government treated us all equal, there would be no poverty. It's disgusting. We have people living in the street in this day and age. Housing and food available is simply out of reach. And yet, like I was saying, and here's the thing. What's sad about this is you have all these dry climates and stuff like that, but I know that there's ways, means, and technologies to sit there and make dry climates wet and wet climates a little bit drier. I mean, for me, it boils down to sound, energy, and frequencies. And the way storms are created, clouds are created, and stuff like that, I'm sure there's ways that they can energize or de-energize the atmosphere and cause the moisture clusters either to get together or not based on their positivity or negativity weight or ratio to them, etc., that you can create storm clouds in places that need water, or at least create like places that have fire if you can create rain clouds to sit there and help put out fires and stuff like that. And then, I mean, if you think about movies and shows, they're ideas of things that people have thought of, and it's like, well, I know, people have made movies and thought about these things, and I'm almost positive that and if not, they will be able to do that kind of stuff, and they should. I mean, I don't know if there's plenty of room on this planet for everybody. But if there's not plenty of room on this planet for everybody, then everybody needs to work together so that we can find room on other planets. And that would be a good headline or tagline for anybody who would be running for president. If I want to write that down. What did I just say? Damn it. Damn it, James. You forgot what you just said. So you're going to run for... Yeah, nope, forgot it. Anybody? Can you type what I just said? Run for president. And for the better, because you're trying to make it work for everybody so that everybody can work together. Yeah, there we go. Make it work. There we go. MIW. Oh, it should be WIN. Win. Make it work. Work it to make it. Anyhow, but yeah, I mean, as a president, those are some of the things I would do. And that's the best thing about imagination and Forrest Fenn is on this train ride, being able to take that train of digression and see, what people would do if they were president. And this is just one thing I would do and what I'd apply, because anybody, not anybody, but if you meet those criteria, a person could be president, which means a person like you could run for president. But then again, a person like me. But it would make it, I would think it would make life a little bit easier for people, And one of the reasons why this is brought up is because, the reiteration of what happened over in Afghanistan. And, I mean, that alone was a severe dereliction of duty, a severe neglect as a commander-in-chief, at the very least. Because what I heard coming from our presidency, or at least the security portion of our country, to end a war without any plans on how to facilitate that ending and push for an end at any means and way possible, was one of the biggest and most disgraceful things any country would have been a part of or attributed to. Any good person or president, just like a person who would protect their home and family, would sit there and devise immediately any and all means possible or best way to withdraw both civilian and non-civilian personnel and assets, whether it belonged to another country or not, especially when the country doesn't want to have a country. The people gave up, and it's... I'm not saying all of them gave up. They fought, and they died. But for an administration to go in and allow something like that to happen, it's just unexcusable. Just unexcusable. And to have no accountability for it is the biggest part that really bothers me, because in the service, if you wipe your ass wrong, you guarantee you're going to get a counseling. Why? Because you didn't go against you went against the rules and regulations on how to wipe your ass. And if you think I'm kidding, I mean, it's probably happened. I wouldn't doubt it. But you're held accountable for your actions, for what you say and do in the service. That's the service, military service of our country, the flag for which I made an oath to protect and defend because I love my family, my wife, my kids. I love my mom and my dad, my brothers and my sisters. I appreciate and love my real good and dear friends. So when something like that, there's no accountability. It's just a sad and disgraceful thing to me to have witnessed and know that we're a part of. But I mean, it just kind of brought up to, so could a person run for president and be able to jump in there and make a few drastic changes in the benefit and whole of society, not just for one nation or one country, but for a majority of nations or countries, so that there's a better and more peaceful transition as we merge into the digital era or digital age that we are already transitioning into. So that is the craziness that was today's train of thought. And it was, it was just, if anything could be possible, and Forrest Fenn said that, if he could have done the things he was attributed to, then an idea and a simple idea like what I've been sharing for the past, hour, I think it would be possible that somebody could go in there and do these types of things and help run a country at least for 4 years into a better direction versus a worse direction. And I only say that based of the things that I've seen and heard uh, throughout American society, throughout the Western or the Northern Hemisphere society, the Western Hemisphere society versus in the entire globe on the societies, the different countries at wars and stuff like that. So, yeah, I think a person who wasn't looking just for themselves, but rather the better of the whole, would be in a better position for running for president and would get my vote. I know that. Because they would have my family's best interest, my kids' best interest, and our future as a country in the best interest. But yep, that was just my yammering because I was just listening to some stuff while I was inside, just tallying up and writing down Forrest Fenn's ages and the years in which he was talking into the thrill of the chase. The next step I'm doing with that whole shenanigans is writing down the states, city locations, and whatnot, and then I'm going to start going through and highlighting and mapping out Forrest Fenn's possible journey throughout 4 states, looking for a chest, and then going with the poem and kind of applying the poem to a map and the stories and seeing how they relate to each other. But that's all coming down the road throughout the future when it becomes history or whenever it comes out. So, there's that presidential 5-point plan. That's all discussed. That's done. Yeah, the Forrest Fenn quote. So, I mean, like sharing, just things that people have learned and taught, and I'm just repeating some of it in a sense. But anyhow, this train is slowing down and coming to a stop, people. And I'd just like to say I appreciate you guys coming by. I appreciate the comment and chat inside the chat. And I wish you guys enjoy the rest of your day. And we look forward to seeing what happens in the future and different activities that come out. This is where that fostering community thing and social work comes in, as far as like people and stuff. Is the Forrest Fenn has, besides the thrill of the chase, searching for a chest, opened up different groups and avenues in World Series of Fenn, which I think should stay called World Series of Fenn, was created because it joined searchers and people who were looking for Forrest Fenn's chest together, and it created that thing. Another thing was a function at the junction in Yellowstone, another event that was able to be a part of, and that was fun and enjoyable. There's meetings that are I hear going on all the time, like down in Santa Fe and stuff like that. I wish I could be a part of that, but it's because of Forrest Fenn and the thrill of the chase. These are the things that are beyond the thrill of the chase. The different people that we meet, the different adventures that we take, and the different memories that we create in ourselves or with other people. And it's worth, for me, sharing some of those stories um, before, during, and even after. Because it's why not? And we like to hear other people's stories. At least try to read them anyway. Not that I read chat, though. I try to read chat from time to time. But we got in chat. Anything is possible since 2020. Aquarius has gained momentum as an astrological talking point, with the year's great conjunction in the air sign initiating uh, uh, Hedi, Saturn, and Aquarius saga, and the impending arrival of Pluto in Aquarius in 2023. Clinched whales from hair ring through the land, harking the dawn of the age of Aquarius. Is he learning stuff? I mean, if that's the case, and it's learning astrology and whatnot. And I think astrology is kind of important part of kind of like civilization. You could always count on that star being there, supposedly. You know what I mean? And then you build things pointing there. You get directions are going that way. Stars and astrologers were very key in as above, so below, plotting and mapping uh, both aquatic and land uh, travels. So quite interesting stuff. I love maps. I love looking at maps. I love learning history. Never really got into learning astrology, but doesn't mean I'm gonna learn astrology. I know where the Big Dipper is. It's like somewhere that way. I know that. But I hear the wind talking to me some more. I know Kiwi's inside. She's wanting to hang out with me for a minute, so I need to go tend to the little girl and see what she's got for yapping. I'm wondering who's going on today, or if anybody else is going on today. Makes life interesting, the things that people do and share. I wish a lot more people who are in the Forrest Fenn community or treasure hunts or YouTube pages and stuff like that would go on there and share their thoughts and ideas and perceptions of the thrill of the chase and what they've learned in life and whatnot, because it'd be interesting. You never know, we might pop in, say hi and how you doing, and then leave you a comment, because appreciation is always appreciated. And so with that, people, I appreciate you stopping by. And I'm going to keep this one ending real quick. Ready? Keep calm and treasure on. And hopefully someday you will not see me as president. But if you ever do, now you know my presidential campaign method. And that's what I would use. So y'all enjoy the rest of your day. Keep calm and treasure on. And we'll see you guys on the flip side. Da, 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 da.